Welcome back. What if I told you every obstacle you have ever overcome permanently changed you? Not emotionally, not temporarily, literally changed you. Your mind, your identity, your possibilities. There's a principle that has fascinated philosophers, psychologists, neuroscientists, and high performers for generations. And the quote by Einstein said, "The mind, once stretched by a new idea, never returns to its original dimensions." Think about that. The mind, once stretched by a new idea, never returns to its original dimensions. So once you've seen something, you can't unsee it. Once you've become someone, you can't truly go back to who you were before. And maybe, just maybe, that's why life keeps stretching you. Not to hurt you, but to expand you. You know, I think one of the greatest tragedies in life is not failure. It's it's you refusing to be stretched. You refusing to grow. You refusing to learn. And you refusing to understand that one thing you need to overcome is the one thing will change everything. Your growth isn't adding something to you. Growth is revealing who you were always capable of becoming. Always capable. There's no guarantee in that. But there's the possibility. What if you're more than you know? What if you're more than you think you are? And what if it just takes one brave moment to overcome something for you to become something you never knew you could be? So if you've been through a hard moment, if you're going through a hard moment, and in the future when you go through a hard moment, what if every difficult season was not punishment? What if it was meant to be expansion? So why do we fear being stretched? And I could give you 100 things, but let's talk about this. The truth is, we as human beings love certainty. We love familiar. We love predictable. Because predictable feels safe. But here's the paradox. Safety rarely produces greatness. Comfort rarely creates confidence. Familiarity rarely creates freedom. But your brain was designed to conserve energy. So it loves patterns, habits, routines, the same. Because thousands of years, maybe hundreds of thousands of years ago, sameness meant survival. You know, that ego, that sense of identity, that inner critic, the hypervigilance to fear was created to keep you in a space that's familiar, that's predictable, that's safe. Your brain's not wired for success. It's wired for safety. But the truth is, today, sameness is going to mean stagnation. See, there's some inner dialogue examples, maybe you've heard this or some version of this inside. I've never done this. What if I fail? What if I embarrass myself? Or what if I lose everything? You see, your nervous system interprets uncertainty as danger, right? Hypervigilance to threat. Very, very, very needed back when we were, eking out of survival, right? Your potential interprets uncertainty as opportunity. And I might want to say your inner advocate interprets uncertainty as opportunity when you build it. And you have these two voices, which are going to be constantly competing. And unfortunately, we're probably so familiar with the inner critic, with the play it safe, that it might overwhelm the inner advocate. See, your comfort zone protects you. Well, it protects your past. But your courage, that builds the future. A lot of years ago, when I hit a level of stress, which was unbelievable, ended up in the cardiac ward, knowing something needed to change. I've been doing relatively well, like relatively okay. Financially, I was able to provide, but there was no joy in my life, and I was exhausted. So I left this one job that was just killing me. And I almost went back to the same kind of work because it was familiar, because it was safe. I almost missed what that moment was giving, the opportunity to stretch myself, to try something hard. You see, I didn't figure out till I was 26 that I was dyslexic, and it really explained a lot. It explained why it was so hard to focus when I was reading, and why I would get a sentence wrong so often, why my spelling was terrible. Like, if I spelt it right, it looked wrong. If I spelt it what I would think would be right, it was wrong. Somehow, I chose uncertainty over comfort. Somehow, I chose possibility over safe. And I'll honestly say that was the best, moment of my life. That was one of the smartest decisions I've ever made in my life. But it came out of one of the hardest moments. So let's talk about the power of plasticity. Because it's not just in the mind. They say the brain has excitability, it has plasticity. Muscles also have the ability they have excitability, they have contractibility, and they also have plasticity. See, the power of plasticity means your muscles will adapt, your bones will adapt, your heart will adapt, and your nervous system can adapt. Your brain adapts. Everything living changes under pressure, and that is plasticity. See, life doesn't simply happen to you. Life reshapes you. Every single difficult conversation, every training run, every race, every marathon, every injury, every single heartbreak, every promotion, even every single failure, it leaves you different than you were before. So imagine have you ever taken a piece of plastic, kind of a light piece of plastic, and stretch it beyond its shape? It never goes back the exact same that it was before. And neither do you. The question is, or it isn't, did this experience change me? The question is, how will I choose to let this experience change me? Because the truth is, experience is unavoidable, but transformation is optional. So let's talk about one of the examples in sports, and that was breaking the 4-minute mile. For quite some time, experts believed the human body could never run a mile in under 4 minutes. I think even if you go back a little further than this, you would find that they thought the human body would explode if you drove it in a vehicle over 30 kilometers an hour. See, doctors believed the heart would explode. Scientists doubted it was possible. Athletes chased it, but nobody did it. Until one person did. Once Roger Bannister broke the 4-minute mile, the impossible suddenly became possible. Within a short period of time, others began doing it too. But what actually changed? Human physiology? No, it doesn't adapt that fast. It was human belief. One person's breakthrough became permission for everyone else's breakthrough. Think about that. Now, I want to ask you something so important. Where is your 4-minute mile? Where is it? What is it? What have you convinced yourself is impossible, where you believe you have strong reservations of even having a chance? Like it's pretty much impossible. What is it? What is that thing that you really want, but you don't think you can do? And honestly, who told you that wasn't possible? Like literally, when did you decide to believe that that was not possible? And why do you continue reinforcing? You see, a long time ago, I realized in my life, because my life wasn't great. And I had a lot of negative self beliefs that I really held on to strong. And what I learned was anything I knew to be a fact about my life and myself limited me to that fact. Good, bad, indifferent, it all limited. The only thing I could do was let go what I thought I knew. And that left me in a place where, how am I going to know who I am, what I'm up to in this life? So I created strong suspicions for me. And one of my main, because I knew I wanted to make a difference in the world, but there was a part of me that didn't believe I could. So I created this strong suspicion. I have a strong suspicion that I'm somebody who really cares about other human beings and really wants to make a difference in their lives. But I have no idea how amazing the impact I could have could be. I have no idea how deeply I can care. I have no idea how much of a difference I can make in this world. I'm just going to try. What if you took your 4-minute mile and say, I have a strong suspicion that I want to do X, but I have no clue of how much more I could do than that, how much further I can go that, how much greater this could be. I'm just going to try. The truth is, sometimes the greatest prison has no walls. It only has beliefs. So let's talk about how breakthroughs create new identities. People think breakthroughs happen in moments, but true breakthroughs are built in thousands of invisible decisions. One more workout, one more uncomfortable conversation, one more application, one more attempt, one more failure that I rise above, one more lesson that I actually learn. And eventually, the outside catches up with who you've already become inside. So you don't suddenly become confident. You earn confidence, one courageous decision at a time. The truth is, confidence is the receipt you receive after paying the price called courage. Think about the identity shift. I'm not trying, I'm becoming. I'm not hoping, I'm building. You got to stretch. You let go of downplaying, of hiding your light, of putting your word out there. You just got to keep on moving forward. Life never stops stretching, ever. Think about childhood, learning to walk, riding a bike. You learn to drive, you fall in love, you become a parent, you lose somebody, you start over. Every single stage of your life required a larger version of you. Life has always been stretching you. The problem is we often resist the very expansion we've been praying for. You go out there, ask for strength, and life gives you resistance. You ask for wisdom, life gives you difficult decisions. You ask for courage, and life gives you uncertainty to navigate. You ask for confidence, and life gives you opportunities to fail safely. God, the universe, life, whatever you believe, doesn't simply hand you growth. It hands you the opportunity to become. And the rest is up to you. I heard this quote once: your prayers often arrive disguised as problems. So how do you build a plastic mind? How do you not just build it, but welcome it? I mean, even through the intensity, because I know most of you guys, most of you people listening here, you've been through stuff and you kept going. See, they say courage is not the absence of fear, it's taking action in the face of fear. Strength is developed when you want to give up, but you don't. And then you downplay it saying, I had no choice, but you always have a choice. And you've always made the choice to keep going. That's the truth, because had you not, you would not be listening to this right now. So how do you build a plastic mind? Let's start. First, you're going to seek discomfort intentionally every day. Just small challenge. Be it go for the run that you didn't want to go for. Go to the gym on the day you didn't want to go. Maybe have a cold shower instead of a hot shower or a partially cold shower. Choose a different route. Have a hard conversation. Start something new. Start building a new skill. Sorry. Did you know they say the beginner fails? The beginner is never good at the beginner. I forget it, but it's like the beginner fails every time, and the expert, it failed 1,000 times to get there. Something like that. Number 2, ask better questions. Instead of why me, ask, what is this stretching inside me? Start collecting evidence. Remember, every obstacle you survived builds proof. It's interesting. I talk about this once in a while. There's a couple athletes I work with, and both have gone through probably the same amount of injuries. And one of them is afraid that their body's fragile, so their context is they have to be super careful. The other one is so inspired by how their body comes back from everything that they trust. Borrow belief. Find people doing what you dream about and let their breakthrough expand your imagination. Celebrate expansion, not perfectionism. The goal isn't to be flawless. The goal is to be larger. Because the truth is, winning isn't becoming perfect. Winning is becoming bigger than the version of you that started. And that's kind of cool. So let's reframe obstacles, because there is a hidden gift in obstacles. The obstacle isn't the interruption. The obstacle is the path. You hear that? The obstacle isn't the interruption. The obstacle is the path. Every challenge expands capacity. Think about athletes. Muscles only grow because they were stressed. Think about trees. Roots grow deeper because storms exist. Think about diamonds. Pressure over time reveals brilliance. So what if these are fundamental laws of nature and they are completely and utterly true about you? Because every obstacle asks one big question. Will this shrink you or will this stretch you? Every obstacle introduces you to a version of yourself you've never met. So slow down. Take a breath. Close your eyes if it's safe to do so. Think about the biggest obstacle you're facing today. Sit with it. Don't run from it. Look directly at it. Now ask, what is this trying to grow inside me, in my life? Maybe it's patience. Maybe it's courage. Maybe it's discipline. Maybe it's compassion. Maybe it's resilience. Could be faith. And the obstacle may disappear someday, but who you become because of that obstacle, that stays forever. The truth is, problems leave, growth remains. So let's wrap this up. Let's close this. I want you to remember something. The version of you listening today will never exist again because ideas stretch people. Hope stretches people. Courage stretches people. Action stretches people. Every episode, every conversation, every challenge expands who you are. And once expanded, you never truly return. That's what I believe. Life isn't asking you to stay safe. Life is inviting you to become someone your past couldn't imagine. And one day, someone else will look at your breakthrough the same way runners looked at the 4-minute mile. Your courage will become someone else's permission. Your resilience will become someone else's hope. And your breakthrough will become someone else's belief. So don't you dare quit. Don't shrink. Don't hide. Don't convince yourself that you've reached your limit because limits are rarely discovered. They're almost always inherited. And today, you get to stop inheriting them. You get to rewrite them and you get to outgrow them because remember, you're not becoming less of who you've been. You're becoming more of who you've always been capable of. I'm going to leave you with these quotes. Every breakthrough permanently changes what you believe is possible. Your life expands the moment your thinking does. Don't ask life to become easier. You become larger. The obstacle is not your enemy. It's your invitation. Growth is permanent. Fear is temporary. Always remember this quote. The mind, once stretched by possibility, can never fit inside its limitation. Well, thank you for hanging out with me again. If this episode expanded something inside you, don't let it stop here. Share it with someone who's standing at the edge of their own 4-minute mile. Subscribe to your inner advocate. And this week, choose one action that stretches you beyond what's familiar. Growth does not begin when fear disappears. It begins the moment you move anyway. Until next time, keep becoming the person your future is waiting to meet. Keep working, keep building your own inner advocate.
Thank you for listening to this episode of Your Inner Advocate, a podcast by Kimen Petersen, formerly Conversations with Kimen. If you found value in today's episode, please follow, like, and share the podcast with someone who you think may benefit from it. You can listen on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Podbean, and connect on Instagram at your_inner_advocate. Until next time, keep listening to and developing your inner advocate.